We have this beautiful yard now that we use all the time. We've been out here so much in the summer, but we did not use it for a long time. We didn't really feel like it was a space that we could use because really it was like a mud pit at first. There was no grass in here. When we actually did go to plant grass, it was like all moss pretty much. So it was basically just this mud pit of a yard. I felt like it was in the shade, so it felt like because of the shade, it was like, oh, it's cooler, it's just mud. I don't really care to hang out there, right? But it's sometimes like just learning to transform the spaces you have and dream a little bit about what you can do. And so we basically did like 4 things to really transform the yard. Really simple, and it has made such a big difference where we just love the yard now. And it turns out that the shade that I thought was like a negative thing ends up being really a bonus, because in the summertime when it's like 30 degrees, it's like it's perfect. I love hanging out here in the summer because it is a lot of shade and it's like perfect, and there's a nice breeze. And so it has ended up becoming this beautiful yard, this dream yard really. And originally it started out as just a shady, yucky mud pit. So I'm gonna tell you how it happened. One of the biggest transformations with this space in the yard has definitely been the grass. And now I feel like that feels a little bit simple, but like we've been trying to get grass to grow in this yard for probably like 4 years now. And finally what ended up happening is that my grandpa is a gardener, and he realized there was this weed in the ground that all the roots were all like netted together underneath, and so the grass couldn't grow. It was basically choking out the grass. He's an amazing gardener, but he went through and pulled out all of those weeds on his hands and knees, and then once we planted the grass after that, it came up so well. I think this was year 2 after that, because we've just been having to keep kind of filling it in. But having grass in here has made such a difference with having the kids, and I feel like that's a pretty simple thing, but it also feels like a yard. So simple, so easy to upkeep. The second thing I feel like was a really big thing is that we had a large trampoline right in the middle here. The kids loved it, especially our oldest, but it took up like the whole yard. And so Jylisa decided that we could find this small little kids tramp on Kijiji, and it was like 20 bucks. And I was like, you know what, this is gonna fit our yard so much better. Plus with the littles, I'm not worried about them falling off. And then all of a sudden it felt like we had so much more space because it wasn't like a trampoline was taking up the whole yard. It feels so much bigger. The next thing that I was so excited about is that building this tree fort. I kind of felt like before we really hung out more on that side of things, and there was nothing to draw us into the yard. But as soon as we built this tree fort in the corner, that also drew all the kids into the yard, and it felt way bigger because there was a reason to use this half of the yard. And this tree fort was actually a playground that was at Dallas's parents' rental place. So when they sold the rental, whoever was renting it left it, and then the person that bought it didn't want it. So it was fantastic because this was all from a previous set, but we didn't pay anything for this. This was just left. It needed to be cleared out. Dallas had been wanting to build a playground, and it was bigger than what we originally had dreamed. So we planned out what we wanted. Dallas and one of the uncles came and cut down the wood to get it to what we wanted to, and built this really amazing tree house right in the middle. The slide came with it, the swing came with it. Again, we didn't pay anything. It was just the time to build it. It has turned out so good. And the cool thing about that is all the netting that's on the top is from the trampoline netting. So this mini trampoline, this had a netting around it, but we didn't really care about the netting because it was so small. It was like, I'm not worried about the kids really falling off. I don't care about it. We didn't put it on. And so we took that netting and we used it up there, just stretched it over the wood so that the kids could still see through, but it's strong enough that they're not gonna fall out. And so that worked amazing. Again, like that didn't cost anything. It was all recycled stuff. And then the thing I'm excited about this year is we got these little Edison bulbs. I've been wanting to get these for a while. And so we got these Edison bulbs to turn on in the evening, and really just, they go through most of the yard. They just make such a cute little atmosphere. So, I mean, really that's 4 things: grass, a trampoline, a tree fort, and Edison bulbs. And I feel like this yard is totally transformed. And really, I think the trampoline cost us 20 bucks. The Edison bulbs cost us like 50. Playground was free, and it's just the grass seed was by far the most expensive because we've planted for like 4 years in a row, probably a couple $100. So really it's like under $300 or something. It's made such a big deal. The thing I really, really want to do, I think, next year is I would like to get a couple new chairs for in here because we have some that I like, but they ended up getting cracked. So they're duct taped right now. So I'd like to replace those because I really do love coming out here with Alice and just sitting and letting the kids play. Those are a fantastic thing to have in the yard. And then the other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to get a rain barrel in this corner of the yard just to get rid of this old downspout. So the hope is next year is a rain barrel, a couple chairs. I think the biggest lesson learning in this yard is how much sometimes you feel like you don't have something or there's this lack mentality, but the reality is just kind of learning to open your eyes and see what's there because, taking it and actually just doing something with transforming it now, it has become such a blessing to us. And I mean, doing wiener roast, having family out here, we've been out here like most of the days in the summer. Dallas and I will get tea and just sit out here in the evenings. It has been such an incredible blessing, and it really didn't take that much work or that much investment to make it happen. And then we realized, honestly, like we're in like one of the cutest streets in town. And sometimes like taking pictures in the yard, people think we're in a park. They're like, where is that? It's a park. No, it's just in our yard. And it's like, how did we not see this before? Really, I think it's just a sense of like God opening our eyes to what we have and learning to steward and praying that God would show you more how to steward and see what you have, because sometimes it's sitting right there in front of your nose and you just need to see it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another video.